I like how everybody keeps saying that Gen Z refuses to grow up when it's like, no, we did. The economy refuses to grow up with us. Everything has literally risen. Rent, inflation, the price of living. But guess what hasn't risen? Minimum wage. The requirements for entry-level jobs has risen. But you know what hasn't risen? Jobs. But we're somehow lazy and refuse to work. Like, there's no incentive to work anymore. You can go to college and get out and have a PhD and be working at McDonald's. Meanwhile, the generations criticizing us and calling us lazy who had an actual incentive to work. Because mind you, they literally could work at a toothpaste factory, put in toothpaste caps on toothpaste canisters, and support a whole family, go on vacation. But somehow, like, we're the ones that refuse to grow up. They just hate Gen Z, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Somebody explained how working at a toothpaste factory used to support an entire family, vacations included. But now you need 2 jobs, a side hustle, and 6 roommates just to survive. Because Gen Z did everything right and they're still getting called lazy for asking why hard work doesn't pay off anymore. Let's talk about it.
Our apartment's $1,800 a month. A 1-bedroom apartment is almost $2,000 a month. My mom owned a condo for years. I remember growing up, she used to rent out her condo. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom on a lake. Boat access for $1,100 a month. $1,100 a month. That's dirt. That's pocket change in this economy. Like, I can't, no wonder. People aren't having kids. Like, people aren't getting married. It's like the most single generation ever. Because we can't afford anything. We can't afford to even be in a relationship because we're still living at home with our parents because we can't afford to live on our own. And if we do, we're not saving, we're going in debt, where we don't have any extra money for anything. It's like you spend all your money towards your living expenses and then you don't have any money to do anything. Like, what is happening?
Gen Z is lazy and just needs to work harder. The second you bring up how hard it is to survive in the US's economy, that's what people say, oh, just work harder. You just need to work harder. The whole work harder rhetoric is just hollow moral judgment when hard work doesn't yield comparable reward anymore. It places all of the blame onto the individual instead of addressing the real systemic issues. It ignores the differences between generations. What was feasible in 1970, 1980, buying a house on a single income, low renting prices, low tuition, simply doesn't map to reality now. Expecting Gen Z to pull themselves up by their bootstraps completely ignores how the boots have been redesigned to be bigger and heavier and harder to pull up. For example, the housing prices have skyrocketed while wages have barely risen. In 1970, the home price to median income ratio was about 3.2. Today, it's over doubled at 6 times or more depending on where you live. The slight increase in wages does not match the rapid growth of the cost of living. So this small increase in wages translates to less real purchasing power, especially when you factor in housing, healthcare, education, debt. All of these costs have risen exponentially while the wages have barely increased. So no, I'm sorry, it's not just about working harder because the economic playing field has shifted dramatically. If hard work actually paid off, then the donkey would own the farm.
Nobody talks about the level of disappointment it feels as an older Gen Zer to have done everything right and still get nothing. I'm talking about working hard, getting the degrees, following the exact plan that all the older generations told us to follow to obtain stability, and realizing that we are not getting that life anymore. Like, as a matter of fact, that life doesn't even exist. Like, I grew up being told, you feel me, go to school, don't get pregnant, don't chase after no boys, do this, do that. And I did. And I was fully convinced that, I was going to graduate, I was going to get a job, a house, travel a little bit, max out my 401k. You feel me? The version of adulthood that made all the struggling worth it. But instead, everything just feels super expensive, super unattainable, and just unrealistic. And don't get me wrong, I'm still extremely grateful for the life that I have. I'm still very blessed, and I'm glad that I did the things that I did. But I am finding myself constantly mourning the life that I thought I was going to have.
How are y'all going to tell us that our 20s are our prime time, our prime years, and we should live them up because you're never going to get your 20s back again? But then when we complain about the economic state of the world and how we aren't really able to live anything up because we can't afford anything, you guys call us, spoiled and lazy. God forbid I don't want to live with 30 roommates at 26. God forbid I want to just go traveling, seeing the world just once or twice, once a year. God forbid I don't want to live with my parents at 24. God forbid I want a job that pays me a livable wage. Back in my day, you were buying houses at like 24. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You just told us that our 20s are our 20s. It's the 20s. You're never going to get your 20s back. Those are your prime time. What about this is giving prime? I can't even get myself a prime ribeye. And you want to say that these are supposed to be our prime time? And then when we complain that our 20s are nothing but subprime, you guys then call us spoiled and lazy for just stating the obvious because God forbid we don't want to live with our parents and 30 roommates and not being able to afford anything in life? God forbid we just want one trip to Barcelona. Oh no, you guys just want anything without hard work. You guys just want anything without hard work. Oh.
And I really don't like that now that I'm grown, things want to get expensive. Like, back in the day, our parents used to be like, do you got McDonald's money? Baby, you should have had McDonald's money. You could go get a whole meal from McDonald's for $2. Gas was $1.15. You should have had the doggone money. Now gas is $5 and you can't get nothing for $5 at McDonald's. They ain't even got the $5 thing at McDonald's no more. It's $6. Like, Why everything want to get expensive when it's my time to be grown? That's okay. I got something for them.
I think people hate Gen Z because we just don't give a fuck. Like, the generations before us, like, had to give a fuck. Like, about everything, about sex, about gender, about identity, like socioeconomics, like all the things, right, that just were shoved down your throat. Like, you had to give a fuck. Gen Z just doesn't, and we're uncovering all the lies, okay? And I just feel like Gen Z doesn't get enough credit, and we always continuously get shitted on, especially when they be like, oh, y'all just internet babies or whatever. Like, we fucking made the internet. We are just products of every other generations before us, and we're dealing with their problems, okay? And it's like they want to gang up on us like we really did something. Like, but we just here living, honestly, waiting for the day. You know what I mean? It's just like, chill. Like, life, don't take it too seriously. Be your true, authentic self, whatever that means to you. Be you, be true. Live, laugh, love, you know? Have the shot of tequila or don't, you know? Like, just chill, just vibe, just relax. Like, stop taking life so seriously. Like, you doing all that for what? Like, just calm down, you know? Fight for what's right, fight for what you want, and do what you want. Do what you will, period. Like, everybody just chill. Calm down.
Gen Z is cooked. We're literally at a point where we're working our entire existences away for no reward. There's people in their late 20s, early 30s that are living out of friends' houses, that are still living at home, simply because the cost of living is absolutely insane. It feels like we're flushing our entire existences down the drain for absolutely no reason. We didn't get the chance that the previous generations got. At least back in like the Boomer and the Gen X days, they had things to work for. They were able to afford groceries. They were able to buy a house on one income. And now it's like you have to work like 2 jobs and do DoorDash on the side and live with like 6 other people in order to make things work in today's America. We're all sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's not a thing where we want handouts or we want things handed to us on a silver platter. We want hard work to pay off again because it's not paying off anymore. And if the state of this country continues to get worse, you're going to continue to see people losing motivation.
At this point, I seriously think Gen Z is just screwed. In 2026, Gen Z just simply earns way less than it costs to survive. The average Gen Zer makes about $25K a year, which is around $21,000 a month, and spends basically all of it on bills or rent. Nearly half of Gen Z runs out of money before the end of the month ends, and that's not just budgeting, that's just survival at that point. And don't get me started on student loan debt, because the average Gen Zer also has about $30K of student loan debt on top of all of that. We are spending more on essentials than any other previous generation, and wages just keep going down, and the cost of living just keeps going up. You're not failing in life. The system is just completely fucked us over. Budgeting does help. Don't get me wrong. I still use mine to budget and track all of my expenses, but the system is still failing us.
I feel bad for my generation, bro. I absolutely feel bad for my generation because we're all in that age realm of where we want to move out of our parents' house because of all like the horrible toxicity. They always want to have dictatorship over us. They basically want to punk us 25/8. But yet we're in a time period where even people with a college degree can't even get a job at fucking McDonald's, let alone any corporation. It's so fucking bad. And the old people, the boomers, they're jealous of us because we have all this advanced stuff. That's why they're refusing to retire. They're putting in certain limitations and guidelines, all that shit. And it sucks, bro. Like, it really does, because why me, as someone who's in grad school, I'm struggling to find an actual good job and I'm stuck at a retail job. Like, it's hard as fuck. And like, Indeed, LinkedIn, all that we were told would help us get a job, it's not working. It's not working at all. And I'm at the point now where if I see someone with a decent job and living in a decent home, at least $50,000 a year, I envy that shit. And I'll say it. I'm a grad student and I envy that. And fucking groceries is damn near an arm and a fucking leg and maybe a fucking ankle. And you can't even get a damn place. A place is damn near your whole college tuition damn near. Like I said, bro, us as Gen Z, we gotta be some fucking hustlers because this shit is getting out of hand.
This new generation is so sensitive and lazy. I've been biting my tongue for a while now, but I got something to say today. My generation isn't sensitive and lazy. We're actually desensitized and burnt out. How are you burnt out when all you do is sit on your phones? We're burnt out emotionally and mentally because we're the ones saying no to everything that the older generations have been saying yes to for years. Go to school, work a 9-to-5 for the rest of your life, and then die. Get married and stay in that marriage even though you're unhappy. Have kids and punish them and spank them so that they learn to respect you. After watching our parents struggle to make ends meet, work in jobs that they hate, come home and they're mad at the world, they're mad at us because they're living a life that they don't want to live, but they're doing it because they have to. My generation said, hell no, we're not doing that. We want to live a life that we actually enjoy living. And the older generation is really mad at that. Because we don't want to work for places and companies that are going to pay us the bare minimum to do the maximum. We're going to create our own businesses that are fully automated so that we don't have to go to work. So that we can actually spend more time with our family and spend more time doing things that we actually enjoy doing. Because how many of us really want to live the life that our parents lived? Because I'll be damned if I'm giving all my time to a job that's going to disrespect me. Now you're ruining my mood. Now I'm coming home to my kids and they're getting the shit end of the stick. Then that child grows up and they're thinking, I don't want this for my family. I don't want this for my life. I want to be happy. I want to live a happy life. So we're not sensitive and lazy. We just don't want to live the way that our parents lived. We don't want to raise kids the way that we were raised. We're working smarter, not harder, so that we can enjoy our lives. So don't be mad at us that we figured it out. We figured out that there's a better life to be lived.
So with a generation that can't focus, and that has been told that there's nothing left for us since middle school, with statistically declining mental health, addictions, and just looking at the state of the world right now, it's really no surprise that Gen Z doesn't want to work 70 years of their life or at all, especially since we're constantly being told that the world is going to end and that we'll never be able to start a family or afford a home. The system is very broken and that leaves many people romanticizing about living off the grid or in a van. It seems like society has given up on sustaining future generations to come, and Gen Z is just about to enter the workforce. The ruling class can't keep getting away with the bullshit that they've been putting society through because everything is televised and public now thanks to this app and social media. And people just know a depth of knowledge that the general public just didn't have access to in previous years. Information is literally at our fingertips, and at this point, any ignorance is willful. As we see from the protests going on across the country right now, Gen Z is willing to stand up for what's right in a coordinated and organized way. What's happening across the country and the internet right now might very well dictate the future of America and humanity.
So yeah, Gen Z isn't refusing to grow up. The economy refused to grow up with them. Drop a comment if you think they're right or if you think they're just complaining. I'll see you in the next one.